Hello everyone, this is your very late edition of Weathercast 8. I'm meteorologist Ann Roberts. I know several of you have questions, so I'm hoping that this video will kind of maybe answer them for you just a little bit. We do have severe weather in the state for tomorrow, and not much has changed, although a few little things have, such as timing and threat level, and I'll cover that in just a little bit. Now, things are setting up exactly like we talked about last night, like we expected them to. There's this low pressure center here, system spinning off into the Midwest, and as you can see there's a lot of colors back behind it. There's blues and pinks and greens. The greens are rain. The rest of those colors are snow and ice and sleet. So you can see it's very cold. It's very potent. Now, we're not going to be seeing any of that here in central Arkansas. We may see a little bit of winter weather in extreme portions of northern Arkansas as we head later into the weekend, but that's not going to be here. What we are going to see, and I'm going to try to zoom in here to make this a little bit easier to see. What we are expecting tomorrow ahead of this dry line, which is the little brown black line you see down here in front of this front, that's going to influence our weather quite a lot tomorrow. I won't get into the details just yet, but just know it's a big influence. Okay, so we're looking at these little green splots or blots popping up all over the map. This is kind of what we're expecting, is these little tiny cells to develop way out ahead of the front. Now, there can be two different ways this can go down. We can have a lot of cloud cover, and we can have these spotty little thunderstorms, and they can be strong and they can be severe, but that's better. If we have these little areas which you see in here of broken cloud cover and maybe some sunlight, that's actually worse, because that sunlight actually adds fuel to the fire, so to speak, atmospheric fire. So if you happen to see some sunlight tomorrow, don't think, oh, our threat level has passed, it's sunny. No, sunshine's actually a bad thing. We don't want sunshine tomorrow. So we could actually see two different types of setup. So the only way that I could explain this was to hand draw it, so I did it this way. If we see a linear type event, that means that the storms would kind of be just ahead of the front, and there would be some bowing on it, which I kind of tried to represent with that little blue bowed line. That would be a higher wind threat, whereas a supercell, which we're hoping does not develop, a supercell is actually stronger, scarier, and more likely to produce larger tornadoes. So we really don't want that supercell development. We would prefer linear, although linear is more likely to produce like small tornadoes, spin up F0s or F1s, whereas supercells can get much larger. It can be your F2, F3 variety. Now, the Storm Prediction Center did increase the orange bubble today just a little bit. It went a little bit further east, of course a little bit further north into Missouri and Iowa as well, but the enhanced level didn't change. We're still enhanced, so we'll definitely see some severe weather across the state. Tomorrow it's just a question of how much sunshine we see, because that could influence it remarkably so. I did change the timing just a little bit today, just based on what I've seen tonight. We're looking at probably 1 to 3 o'clock, some of those little multicellular systems already beginning to develop in portions of western Arkansas. So I bumped back central Arkansas to 4 to 7. It looks like we may see our strongest stuff pushing through Clark, Hot Springs, Garland, Saline, and Pulaski counties in that 4 to 7 range. I'm really pushing it more towards 6 to 6:30, so be aware of that as you're heading home from work tomorrow. Eastern Arkansas, more 8 to 12. And this is well before the front pushes through. The front isn't even supposed to make it through the state until a few hours later. So this is more the cellular development ahead of the front that we're kind of more concerned with. Obviously, there's going to be some flash flooding and some heavy rain at times, so be aware of that if you're driving. Also, I should mention, if you are driving and there is a tornado warning issued, do not park under an overpass. Just don't. High winds are a threat, of course. Hail. Tornado threat did go up today. I've seen some very strong wording from the National Weather Service today about the possibility of tornadoes for tomorrow. So go ahead and have your safe zone scouted out, cleaned out. Be prepared. If you haven't done that yet, please do it tomorrow. And also, if you have a church event tomorrow night, you may want to have somebody designated in your small group study to be your weather watcher, or somebody who can keep an eye on warnings, and also have your safe zone in place as well. I wouldn't necessarily cancel any plans tomorrow. I would just be watching, be weather aware, take safety precautions, maybe leave a little bit earlier than planned, or maybe a little bit later than you normally do, just to make sure that you're not caught in the middle of those storms as they pass through tomorrow. Now, those storms are going to be pushing off towards the east, and then the severe weather threat will weaken going into Saturday into portions of Mississippi and Alabama. So that won't be a concern for us. It's just going to be Friday. So if a warning is issued, a tornado warning, go downstairs, go under something, cover your head, please wear a helmet, and keep away from windows. I really think that the tornado warning issue will probably be more western Arkansas. At least that's kind of been the trend. Amina, Texarkana, Russellville, that kind of thing. You maybe even could see it around the Greers Ferry area. But I'll certainly be watching it. I mean, tornadoes you can't predict. You can just kind of use your best educated guesstimate to figure out where this is going to set up. So I would say just be cautious tomorrow. Have your safety plans in place. And don't cancel your plans. Just, of course, have a weather watcher in place. So I hope that answered your questions. If you have any more, please let me know. I'll keep you updated as we go through tomorrow.